Hi, I'm Yegi. I'm an entrepreneur and success coach who wants it all. Family, luxury, career, and the freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want. And I'll do whatever it takes to get there. I created the Yegi Project to document my journey and inspire others to do the same. My mission is to change the world by influencing and leading others to do what they love and live fulfilled lives.
Hello. Welcome back to the Yegi Project. Today's honored guest is Tara Harris, who is a visionary and has revolutionized a daily use product for women. So I want to give her the floor. Please, Tara, let us know, who are you and what do you do and what is FemiFlex?
Yeah, so first of all, thank you for having me on your show. My name is Tara Harris. I am the creator and founder of the world's first pantyless liner, and I kind of created this innovative, revolutionary product from my own personal story. So about 4 or 5 years ago is when I started this journey, and I'm like, oh my God, I could really make this work. And I'm like, if I wanted to create it and develop it for myself, I wanted to share it with women globally to solve an issue that most women have. Giving a whole new meaning to the terminology going commando.
Awesome. Well, please tell me and our listeners what happened 4 or 5 years ago. Why did you need a pantyless liner? Tell us the story behind it. Take us back.
Yes, I'll tell you the story. So I had a medical procedure done that no longer allowed me to wear thongs comfortably. So I am a bold body conscious woman and I don't like the unflattering panty line, right? So I'm trying to figure out how am I going to wear my aloe leggings, my Lululemon leggings, my theory silk pull-ups, and my theory leggings without, you know, panty line. And I'm like, because I couldn't wear the thong. So I'm like, and I am a woman that needs the moisture absorbent like most women, right? So you have to look at it like when I did my research like 4 years ago, the panty liner industry is a $36 billion per year industry. And that's just
Wow.
panty liners. And women wear panty liners to keep their underwear clean, right?
And it's a
That's
product I know, and a lot of my close friends use daily, multiple of them daily.
is correct. Women need that. Women have secretion and discharge. I know a lot of women aren't comfortable talking about it. Like I have approached so many women, and some are very open, and then I get some prudish women who are like, I want to talk about it. No, no,
Perfect. Nothing comes out.
I know, and I understand that I get it, but normally my personality is that I'm able to get women to open up to talk about the natural things your body does, right? We all have it, we all experience it, and I try to get women to feel comfortable with talking about it and giving them a solution. So women who, we're talking yoga, Pilates, women that wear form-fitting body dresses, suits, jumpsuits, or even women who are frequent travelers. And I say to myself, oh my God, I don't have to go on vacation and bring dirty underwear back home. If you're not menstruating, take FemiFlex with you. It will save you. I'm like, oh my God, it's like the best solution to frequent travels and not coming back and bringing soiled underwear with you. Like, you know how we used to do in the hotels and go in the bathroom. I don't want to do that anymore.
Awesome. So you did find like a missing link in that industry and you decided to do something about it for yourself initially because you wanted to solve your own problem. And I think that's the best type of products that are created is when we are solving a problem for ourselves and for other people. If you need something and it doesn't exist, more than likely other people need it too. Now, since this is an entrepreneurial podcast,
hmm
how did you do your research to determine if this was a product that's needed? Because initially you said for you it was the comfort thing after
hmm
surgery, but
hmm
then now talking about it, I could see that the need is not necessarily only the comfort, it's the look of the necessity too. Even if somebody's comfortable wearing thongs or certain body shapers, there are still some lines and some visual things that they might not like, and use your product instead for more like a cosmetic or like a visual thing versus just a comfort thing. So how did you do your research, or what made you kind of like go for it and be like, yes, if I get this product, I could sell it. There's enough need for it.
So after doing some initial focus groups and research, I promise you, every woman that I approached, they said to me, "This is amazing. This is revolutionary. I wish we had this 10 years ago." And from that, I knew that my audience would be very narrow, very niche, very, for women that care what they look like when they walk outside the door. Now, I mean, will a woman that lives in Kentucky, that lives on a farm and rides horses and wrangling cows and animals and stuff, be a customer? I'm not sure, but there is enough women, bold body conscious women, walking the face of this earth that would buy that product. So I think that's how I started, knowing that my product isn't for every woman. It is for a certain.
Yeah, I think that's a great place to start in business, honestly, because especially if you know you're a niche market, just be
Yep.
okay with the terms that, hey, not everybody's gonna love it. I'm not gonna take it personally, but there
Yes.
is the audience and there is the customers that do need this product like me.
That is correct. So FemiFlex really just gives women an option. It's an alternative to traditional panties or underwear. So I just wanted to be that person to be able to bring this to the forefront because it is innovative. It is revolutionary. I do have a patent pending for it. I mean, I am looking to disrupt the feminine hygiene industry along with beauty personal care. Yeah.
I love
So
that. And it is hard for such a developed kind of industry where the big brands really own a lot of it. It is very hard to get your foot in the door and do something totally different. So, can you please tell me kind of that process? What were some of your challenges creating the product? Let's start there. What were some of the challenges actually like putting it all together, finding the right adhesive, finding the
mhm.
manufacturer, actually getting the packaging, fully developing the product? What were some of your challenges?
Yes, so the biggest challenge I think was definitely finding a manufacturing company that was willing to take on such an innovative product, right? So every manufacturing company that I called, they're like, "What, huh? We're not putting adhesive on the upside of a panty liner." They all wanted to make me a traditional panty liner and compete with already 13, 14 brands. I said, "No, that's not my product." So I actually networking, meeting people, and asking for referrals is how I got my manufacturing company after searching for 4 years, after getting Dear John letters, by email or saying, "Oh, no, we just don't see that you're going to get women to stop wearing underwear. No, you're going to break our machine." But I've always said to myself, a no today is just what it is, a no today, but it could be a yes next week, it could be a yes next month. So I just never gave up.
Willpower, and it takes a lot of faith and hope and persistence in order to get there, because if you hear no so many times and it's discouraging, you start questioning yourself. Okay, maybe this is not right? How was that challenge for you? What helped you keep going until you got your yes?
But what kept me going is that I've already invested so much, and this is something that I really, really believe in. And I think Femi Flex could be the next Sarah Blakely. Like she hired me at the very first shapewear. So having that and having a laser focus on your goal,
And having that clear vision, I could see you have such a clear vision of
I
how
have
this
a
is used.
I have a very clear vision of FemiFlex and the many different industries and sectors that it can be used. So I'm still in the trenches. I am still growing, grinding for the business to scale and to grow the business. You just can't give up because you didn't make $1 million your first year,
Yeah,
or
especially something like that. It takes time for you to get the kinks out, get your processes, and do all of that, and really get the word out because nobody knows about it, right? So
nope,
they can't
nope.
want it. So you really have to be out there, kind of yelling on top of the mountain, so people can know about it to even think, hey, this is right for me, or maybe it's not. But first, they need to at least know
They
about
need to know about it. So yeah, you need money. You need working capital for branding and marketing. Advertising and marketing is the biggest, is the most expensive of a new brand. And when you don't have that, and you're doing it out of your own pocket, you're not going to scale as quickly as you would like to scale. Working with VCs and investors, and I've met with them, they love the product. But you know what they tell me? Well, you're kind of too risky. You're too new. We need for you to at least take 500 annual sales. And I'm like, well, that's not a true startup.
Yeah,
You're not
it's
helping me.
tough these days. When you're a startup, they do want kind of a guarantee. It's like, hey, if I had the guarantee, I would just go to the bank and get the loan and we would be done. We don't
That is
need like
correct.
your help and your vision, right? So that I could see that being a huge challenge in the beginning when you have the vision, but trying to find the right people to believe in your vision in order to invest in it in such an early state. Can you talk a little bit more about that process? What did you do to prepare? Did you schedule the meetings? If let's say somebody like you had a product and they wanted to find investors or to find
Hmm.
funding in order to
Hmm.
help grow, what have you done so far and what do you plan on doing in the future?
Yeah, so I'm gonna say for me, the journey is that you try to get with networking group, do accelerator cohort programs is what I did, and how I met people with business consultants, and they kind of helped me guide the way. Sometimes working with the SBA or the small business development centers in your area will help small businesses. I mean, you got to have an executive summary. You need to have a pitch deck. You need to have your business plan. You need to have a pro forma. You have to have all those things in place, and you need to know your numbers. You need to know your gross profit, your net profit, your COQs, cost of goods. All of that needs to be in place. So it's a lot of homework, and but I can say for me, in having no entrepreneur experience, you learn as you go. So it's amazing. Like I know manufacturing now.
For you, honestly, I was in the same boat when I initially had started my beauty business, like, oh my God, almost 10 years ago. It'll be 10 years in May. And it was a lot of trial and error, learning, wasting a lot of money, but hey, it's not wasting when you're learning from it, right? So it does take a lot of trial and error when you haven't done it before, or if you don't have like an entrepreneur in your family that could literally guide you. So I give you huge credit for that. And your product's out there. And I see
It
you guys
is
are selling on Amazon and Walmart. Is it on the shelves in Walmart or just online?
just online.
I see. So, is there any action you're taking to try to get it on the shelves on some markets? Because I could see that being kind of like a game changer for you.
It is definitely a game changer. So I think what the strategy we're trying to do now is build customer base, because what I have learned is once you get on the shelf, you have to have money from marketing, especially for a new brand with an innovative product like FemiFlex. That's the first thing they tell me. Don't be such a rush to get on the shelf because you have to move the product. If you don't move the product,
Oh,
they will remove you from the shelf. So that's focusing on growing the brand, the business, online, e-commerce, getting my customer base. Get that customer base first. Online, internet sales, then you can get to the retail stores and being on shelves and where your product will move.
from what you've learned, is there like a number that you want to hit before they recommend for you to try to push to be on the shelves, like X amount of customers or X amount of sales?
I haven't been told X amount of customers and sales. I just have been told you gotta have a budget for advertising and marketing. You got to have the budget for advertising
So,
and
what does
marketing.
that budget look like? I'm just curious.
At least $1 million. But you know what? But if you have
Monthly?
people,
$1 million annually? Monthly? What are we looking at?
I would say annually, and that's on a low end. That's not a national advertising marketing budget. That's a regional, like
Yeah.
one county, one state.
Wow. Yeah, and it's honestly great we're talking about this to put things kind of in perspective for audience too, because I mean, it's ideal. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur and everybody wants to develop a product, but it really takes so much to get like that product on the shelves and really
Oh
make
my
it
God.
a new product, a whole new, almost a whole new industry, not industry,
Yes,
a whole new like niche line for you.
yes. So I just spoke at University of Georgia, right? I was chosen to be their key speaker for their Innovation Women's Boot Camp. to tell them my story, my journey. And what I remember, and I tell everybody, it can't be a hobby, it can't be a side job. You have to be all in. It's not gonna work. You're not gonna be successful. You have to be all in for it to be successful. And don't get discouraged just because you didn't make the money the first 2 to 3 years and you're still struggling. And what I do know is that nobody is going to give you their money if they see you haven't invested your own.
Yes, because I could see that if you don't believe in it enough to invest your own money, why are they going to risk their money?
That is correct. And anybody can see that I've invested a lot in FemiFlex, from a custom built website to the logos, to trademarks, to patents, and just doing what I do. Absolutely.
Awesome. Now, my last question to you in regards to the product, you said you've invested a lot. It's been 4 years, because I know a
hmm
lot of entrepreneurs are also wondering, what did you do to kind of maintain your lifestyle? Because in the beginning, it's, no product makes money right from the start if it's a brand new thing. How were you able to support yourself in order
It's
to do your journey?
It's been really hard. I mean, honestly, it just brings tears to my eyes. So I really gave up my lifestyle and moved back in with my mom so that I didn't have to pay the high rent in Los Angeles, California, because I needed to pay patent and trademark
Yeah,
attorneys. I needed
that's
to
the
pay,
sacrifice it takes. I
I
want
needed
people to know that's the sacrifice it
It
takes.
is. I needed to pay website developers. I needed to pay influencers. I needed to pay lawyers to draw up legal terms. And I'm like, I just couldn't do it all on my own. So that was the best decision I ever made, to hold on to the ownership of my company. So,
Good for you. That's
hmm
very impressive. Gotta do what it takes.
yes.
How
Yeah.
about I did do a little bit of research about the product beforehand. I noticed the price of it. So two is about $8.99 right now, four is $14.99, and 28th pack is $44.99. So
hmm
how are your prices compared to the similar? I know a product like
Yes.
this does not exist, so you can't compare. It's like apples to oranges. But where do you stand in your pricing, and how did those prices come about?
Yes. Thank you so much for asking that. So FemiFlex is a premium product that comes with a premium price. So FemiFlex is the only feminine hygiene product that uses a very delicate piece of medical material, silicone, that actually is the one that sticks to the body, where a woman can remove it multiple times a day to use the bathroom, and then you can place it back on. So that material alone actually elevates the price. And considering that the machinery that is used to put the adhesive on the upside kind of increased the price, where the price point had to be higher, because I am selling a lifestyle and not just a product. So FemiFlex is giving women a lifestyle of freedom, confident of going without panties, but without sacrificing the basic comfort and protection that we all need, right? So having said that, I needed to price it, and I wanted to make them individually wrapped. So they're all individually wrapped. And so having done that with the beautiful packaging, there was no way I could make
What's
a
the
pantyless liner close to what.
and
hmm
the
There's
quality of the
That's
premium?
right. I couldn't do it. Like, my product is very specific in design and the way that it's used. So it's none like any other panty liner on the market, because mine is shorter and it has silicone and adhesive on the upside. So that is what sets it apart.
Machinery to use it? Do you need something to stick it on, or you stick it on
No,
with your hand?
you stick it on yourself, you just peel it off like a panty liner. Each one of them are individually wrapped, so a woman could throw it in her bag and be on her way, right? And then you take it off, you peel off the protective peeling, and you place it on your body. You press around the border to secure it, and you're on your way. Women even feel comfortable with wearing it with a dress or a skirt. It's not going to fall down like a very little mess in the street, but we do ask that a woman be waxed or shaven.
That totally makes sense. And honestly, I see a product that I can get for myself, and
Yes,
it is a premium price, but for those occasions, I could see that it's something I would want in my closet in order to use it when I need it, right?
that is correct.
And I'm actually pregnant currently, so I could see that being such a useful product
Congratulations.
right after birth as well. You don't want as much stuff touching you.
Absolutely. And then we also promote for slight to moderate bladder leakage, like women that cough, sneeze, or laugh really hard. If you got a little squirt, it's there for to help you with incontinence issues.
Awesome, awesome. Well, I could totally see a market for it, and I'm excited to talk to the innovator behind it, and hopefully one day I
Oh,
can see it all over the shelves and be like, "Hey, I know her."
yes.
But good luck. It's honestly a really big thing you're taking on, getting into such a new niche, and I'm excited to learn about it, and to know that something like that exists for the people that do need it, just like you in your situation or me in certain things that I could see using it for. But before we wrap up, I do want to get to know you a little bit better as the founder behind it. Some fun questions I always like to
Yes.
ask my guests. If you can change one thing in the world with a magic wand, what would it be?
I would say for everybody to give grace and everybody to treat people the way they want to be treated.
I love that. That would be nice. And also, what are your top three business lessons you've learned throughout the journey that you would want to share with our listeners so they don't make the same mistakes, or just your top three lessons?
I would say my top three lessons is to know your business, know your worth, and stand firm on what you truly, truly believe in. No matter how desperate you may be, you have to stand firm on and know what you hold.
Excellent. And then how about life lessons? I know some of those overlap.
I would say life lesson is, I mean, just be kind. I mean, to people, you don't know what somebody else is going through, and I would say just be a kind person. It's not hard.
Yes, it definitely will make the world a happier place.
It would be.
Now, if we were to follow you around for a day or a week, I know your days probably look different. What does a typical day look like for you?
Right now, I would be very, very boring. I am on Zoom calls all day answering email, and I watch a little bit of basketball because we're right now in the playoffs, so I love basketball.
Nice.
And just a lot of Zoom calls. It's really mental exhaustion. I'm mentally exhausted.
You have morning routines, night routines. How do you keep going?
How do I keep going is the fact that I need to grow and scale this company. I have two of my girlfriends that are actually invested, and my goal is to turn their money around into a high in ROI, and that's what I plan to do, and to be the next thing next to how Sarah Blakely was the first to do the shapewear with Spanx. So FemiFlex is the world's first pantyless tongue liner. So I'm going with that. So I'm making history with it, and I want all the women to enjoy it.
Awesome, awesome. I love that. That's very inspiring. Now, what are your last words of wisdom for our listeners, and where can they find you to connect with you? They can find the product on the website as well, FemiFlex.com, and we'll link all of that below. And like
Yes.
you said, Amazon and Walmart as well. But where can they find you to connect with you if they want to have questions or invest or be part of it? And what are your last words of wisdom?
I would say my last word of wisdom is to always stay focused on the end game, and surround yourself with people like-minded who believe in you, motivate you, encourage you to keep going, because you only fail if you stop. Every day, a little progress to me is a step towards being successful. I mean, and that's just the encouragement that I get from my mentors. So that's what I use, and that's what I would say. So people can reach out to me via my website. There are tabs where you could contact page. All of those emails will either go to someone on my team, and then they will forward them to me. So there is an email, I think you can use customer support at FemiFlex.com, which goes to team, and then they will forward them over to me. Anybody who has any questions to reach out to me personally.
Beautiful. Well, thank you again so much for your time, Tara. Until next time. And thank you to our listeners for always tuning in and being part of all of our journeys.
Well,
Bye.
thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Please rate and review this podcast. Follow and engage with us on social media under the Yegi Project. And if you're interested in being a guest, Email info@theyegiproject.com, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes.